Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter. Just making another quick video for my tablet here today till we get the camera situation figured out. Looks like I'll have a new camera in the next couple days. So hopefully by Tuesday we'll be back up and running just like normal. And I want to thank some of my subscribers very much for helping me out. And I also was able to sell a scope over on Facebook and put that money towards a new camera. So looks like we'll be back in business here very soon. But I've been getting a lot of people asking me about this whole LA County Sheriff increasing CCWs. 400%. People have been asking me my opinion about it. People have been making videos about it already. So it's not anything new at this point. But I think people just kind of want to know where I stand on it, being the fact that I lived in LA County for 43 years. So I wanted to talk about it real quick today. You know, one of the big sayings that I've seen going around, especially pertaining to this particular event where Sheriff Alex Villanueva says that he's going to increase the amount of CCWs that he issues by 400%. A lot of people have been saying, well, 400% of zero is still zero, and that is very, very true. But there's another thing that I want to bring up here. So he says that he's not going to be switching it to shall issue, and he's still going to be requiring good cause. And that's what I want a lot of people to focus on. So if you live in LA County or you just want to kind of know what's going on here, he's going to be keeping the same requirements that were there before. And good cause in California basically means that you have to show proof that your life is in imminent danger. It's not just like I want to be safe. I feel like when I walk through my community that it's unsafe and I want to be able to protect myself. That's not enough for good cause in LA County. What stands for good cause in LA County is I have a guy who's already tried once, or somebody who is threatening me with emails, text messages, or he's stopped by my house or something like that. Like, he's proven himself to be an imminent threat, and he's, threatened my life several times. If that's the case, then they'll allow you to go through the permitting process. Not necessarily that you'll get a permit, but with something like that, then you'll be allowed to go through the process. So it is still very strict, very stringent. That hasn't changed. As long as good cause exists as a requirement to get your CCW, then I don't care if it's 400%, 500%, or 1,000%, you still have to prove that your life is in imminent danger for the time being. And that is very, very difficult to prove, because most of us are just, worried about the day-to-day type of thing. We want to be there if, be ready just in case something happens. So that good cause requirement is still in place. I think what's happening here is there's two things that are happening here, okay? One, he's got an election coming up in 2 years. So if you guys know, sheriffs are elected, police chiefs are appointed. So with a sheriff having to be elected, he's got his election coming up in the next 2 years. It's almost like it's time for him to start campaigning. And I know that he has lost a lot of support after what happened with the lockdowns and, being appointed head of emergency response and stuff like that. And then being removed from that same position, just due to his complete failures. But I think he's a little bit worried, and so he's trying to get more people on board with him that maybe weren't on board before. And so saying a statement like this, which we all know won't really have much of an effect at all, might get some people that were on the fence because of a topic similar to that back on board with re-electing him as sheriff, I believe in 2022. I think so, 2014, 18, 22, yeah. So in 2022, he would be up again, so a little bit, year and a half or so. So I think this is part of a campaign strategy. I think he's trying to get people on board with what he's already shown to lack, which is the ability to allow people to defend themselves. So that's number one. Number two, I think what he's going to do in order to increase those numbers, because people are going to say, well, how's there going to be a 400% increase if nothing's ever changed? I think what he's going to start doing is issuing more CCW permits to those people that carry large sums of money, which by LA County standards should already be able to have their permits regardless. So people that work on ATMs, people that work at jewelry stores that may carry large sums of money, gold, diamonds, jewelry, things like that, from point A to point B. So you're going to have people that are in specific areas like money and like jewelry that you're going to see start getting permits, because there's people out there, believe it or not, in LA County that go around with a lot of money, okay, a lot of money, and that's their job, is to fill up ATMs. And so they go with huge amounts of money. They go to an ATM that's located outside late at night, and they have to fill that ATM. It's a very dangerous job, and those people have been denied permits because they didn't show good cause. And so just saying, well, I have a lot of money on me hasn't really worked as good cause in LA County. So I think in order to show an increase of 400%, which isn't going to be hard. I mean, if you have a total of 100 people with a permit in LA County, which is filled with millions of people, all you have to do is do, 400 or 500 more people, and now you've reached, massive percentage of increase, when in reality the average person didn't get any help from it at all. But I think that's what he's going to do. I think that they're going to start issuing more to those people that are in a line of work that could see themselves in danger because of the stuff that they have on them. And I think that's where he's going to be able to get these numbers, which are going to be, in my personal opinion, inflated because of that point. So you have an election year, and then you have the fact that he's not really going to be helping out the average citizen with those good cause requirements still being in place. So I think it's just all a crock. The guy's a crock. He's, I never voted for him. To be honest with you, there was a lot of people out there that didn't even know he was running. I was campaigning for somebody else. And, it was just one of those things where I just couldn't believe that somebody who I hadn't even heard of had won sheriff of LA County. I mean, the largest county in the entire country. There's more people in LA County than there are a majority of the states in the United States, populations. Millions and millions of people just located in one small area. So that's kind of a big job, and for somebody like him to get the job, it was a little bit discerning to begin with, to be honest with you. But try and keep in mind, for those people that are watching this video, you're pro-Second Amendment, you're pro-freedom, you believe in the Constitution, the freedom in the Second Amendment, and so forth. Just remember, he's up for election again, okay? For all those people that don't like the sheriff, don't like his rules, don't like the CCW requirements and stuff like that, vote him out. That's the best way you can do it. When 2022 comes around, find a pro-2A candidate. If somebody runs that is pro-2A, then vote for them instead and try and get him out, and do whatever you can to try and support that pro-2A candidate. I was out late at night. I was promoting a guy who was pro-2A. I was making videos about it. I was doing everything in my power to try and get him elected, because to me, in the end, even though it cost me a ton of money to do so and a lot of my time, and I was away from family and stuff for, my weekends and stuff, I figured in the long run, it would be worth it to put in that investment to try and get somebody who's pro-Second Amendment elected. And so that's what I did, and that's what you have to be willing to do in order to change your future in California, because the sheriffs have the final say when it comes to CCWs in California. So, for instance, he can choose not to have the good cause requirement. That's up to him. If Villanueva wanted to, he could remove that requirement altogether and say that anybody that applies that's legally able to own a firearm will get a concealed carry permit once they finish the background check process and all that stuff. He could say that. He could do that right now. He could make the decision to do that tomorrow. That is totally up to him. So the fact that he's leaving the good cause requirement in there just shows you that it's not really... he's not really trying. He's leaving that requirement in there because we all know that he's very anti-Second Amendment. The second the lockdown happened, that was the guy that tried to shut down every single shop in LA County. And he did so. And that was overturned, and then he did it again. So we know where his stance is on the Second Amendment. Don't let him try and fool you that somehow he's now come around to people defending themselves. It's all about an election year. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully we'll get back to business as normal here. I can start bringing you guys more news and entertainment and whatever I can do to to give you guys a little bit of an escape at the end of the day when you're done with a long day's work. So I want to thank you all very much for watching. Again, please like, subscribe, take care. And then, hit the button.